Alright my fellow agents, welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and today's video, my friends, is all about farming retaliations, getting blueprints, and with them being able to craft some of the best exotics in the game for the first time. And the reason I mention that as we start this video off is you know I never want to waste your time here at the channel, so if you already know exactly how the system works, you don't have to waste your time watching this. Now this happens to be something I talked about here at the channel a few months back, and we will cut to that video in a moment, but the main reason I'm reposting that footage right now is because we have a lot of players who are getting ready for year 8. We know there's a lot of content down the road, and as we make our way down the home stretch towards that new season, all you're trying to do at this point is dot the I's and cross the T's in regard to certain builds, but you're still missing those must-have exotics that you can center so many different damn builds around. Now when the new season begins next month, I promise to bring you an updated video going over any changes that may have taken place, but in the meantime, hopefully this will help you get something you've been trying to get for a very long time, and as always, if you have any other questions, please let me know. That is going to do it for this introduction, my friends. Thank you once again for the privilege of your time, and with that being said, let's cut right to the footage. Now there happen to be two main reasons I've chosen to put this video together for you really quick. First of all, we have a lot of people jumping back into the game and they're getting confused on the difference between reconfiguration and crafting. And while I did talk about reconfiguration a few weeks back, as promised, I wanted to make you this standalone video talking about crafting. Now the first step you need to take is go to your crafting bench. You're going to scroll down to the bottom right. Once you click on exotics, you will then see a list of all the different exotics where you have the ability to farm the blueprints. Now the best thing about the crafting menu is it's very user friendly. It's going to let you know exactly what you need to craft certain things. So for instance, I already have the blueprint for St. Elmo's engine, and the game lets me know every single thing I need to craft one. Now as we scroll down to the chameleon, you can see that this weapon is locked, but the reason for that is because I do not have this blueprint as yet. But once again, the game lets you know exactly what you need to do to get the blueprint. In this case, it has a chance to drop from successfully defending territories from the hyenas. And as we continue, you will notice that some of the farming methods may change depending on what you're actually trying to pick up. So for instance, the Strega, if you want to get that blueprint, you can see it says it has a chance to drop by eliminating kill squads during hyena retaliations, which brings me to two very important details. First of all, every single exotic on this list is going to be tied to a faction, and that's who you need to target to get the actual blueprint to drop. Now that also holds true for the different resources you may need to craft the exotic. So to give you a quick example, let's say you want to craft a backfire. You can see I'm going to need 35 biohazardous canisters. I have 24, which means I need to continue to play retaliation, and in this case continue to farm the outcast until I get all the resources that I need. And to give you another quick example on how the whole thing works, and I will walk you through the entire process in a moment. But one exotic a lot of players are still on the hunt for are the Overdog's gloves, because let's say you missed it from a previous season. You can see on screen it has a chance to drop by successfully defending territories from the hyenas, and you can also see the game lets you know the other items you're going to need to craft this item in the first place. Now as we make our way to some gameplay footage where I'm going to show you a few more details really quick, I'm sure a lot of you out there are wondering, well, why not just try to get certain things by opening up exotic caches, or let's say doing different priority objectives, getting exotics to drop. Always remember that all of these exotics are in the general loot pool, which means when you open up an exotic cache or complete a priority objective, any one of these things can drop. We also know that RNG can kick you in the head sometimes, so this way you can actually target farm exactly what you're looking for. And while this definitely can be a grind, at least you know for a fact you're going to get the exotic you want guaranteed. Now with all that being said, my friends, we're going to switch gears and talk about how to activate retaliation, and you have two different options you can choose from. First of all, when you go to your daily projects, you can see there is a retaliation project, and upon completion it will automatically activate a retaliation for a specific faction. But as you can see on screen, that faction could change on a daily basis, so you may not be targeting certain things. So for instance, in this video we're going to focus on the hyenas, which means we need to target their faction and get their agitation meter to 100%, and we do that by going after anything that's controlled by the hyenas. It could be a mission, it can be a control point, it could be an open world activity. And for the record, the difficulty that you play on is going to have an impact on how quickly that meter fills up, so ideally you can play on heroic, get that thing filled up as quickly as possible. Now as you can see on screen, there's a clear indication on when the faction starts to retaliate. At that point you're going to open up your map, scroll over to retaliation, and you can see then you have the option of activating the event anytime you want to. Now once a faction starts to retaliate, you're going to have 6 hours in order to initiate that retaliation. If you don't do so, that meter is going to go back to 0, so you're going to have to refill that thing again. So make sure when the meter is full, you're able to actually start this thing within that 6-hour window. I also want to remind you, you have the option of choosing your targeted loot when you're playing this game mode, so make sure you select the weapon type, gear set, brand set you may be on the hunt for. As far as your build is concerned, you can really use anything you want. For me, I use the one you're looking at on screen right now. It's really plug and play. We're running Forest Striker, Fenris Chest with the Talent Obliterate, and the Catharsis Mask. Last but not least, my friends, when it comes to difficulty, as most of you know by now, in this game, the higher the difficulty is going to equate to better quality loot. But let's say if you're just trying to get these blueprints, what you can do is you can change your difficulty anytime you want. So let's say you get that agitation meter to fill up on heroic, but you think to yourself, you know what, this is going to be too tough on this difficulty. You do have the option to change it anytime you want. You can see on screen I went from heroic to challenging because these blueprints can drop in the lower difficulties as well. Because remember, the entire point of this farm is to try to get those blueprints. If you're always dying, you can't do that. So that means you need to defend the territories, take out kill squads. So make sure you're ready to go as soon as you load into this thing. Hope this helped you out, my friends, and as always, questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know, and I'll do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. On that note, I'm going to leave you with some gameplay footage and a few final thoughts. As always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your incredible continued support. Please let me know of any other questions you have I did not address. Thank you once again for the privilege of your time, and as I mention at the end of every one of these, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone. Hello once again, my fellow agents. I hope everyone is having a great day so far, wherever you are in the world. Hope you're doing well. All right, so a few things I want to mention really quick as I leave you with the gameplay footage. Just because you take out a kill squad or defend a territory, that does not mean you're guaranteed to get a blueprint. This could be a bit of a grind to get the blueprint you're looking for. But as I said previously, if you want to be able to actually craft something you've just never had luck getting to drop from an exotic cache, or let's say, like I mentioned, a priority objective, this is one of the few ways in the game where you know what your end result can be if you complete certain things. Yes, you got to get the blueprint. Yes, you got to get all the resources to actually craft it, but at least you know you are going to get the exotic that you want. Last but not least, when it comes to difficulty in this game, like I said before, you always want to play in the highest one you can. It's going to equate to better loot. When it comes to blueprints, they can drop on the lower difficulties as well. And to give you a quick example, in this gameplay footage, I took out 2 kill squads, defended 2 territories. I did not get any blueprints to drop during that, but I did get one for completion of the retaliation itself. Now keep in mind as I say that, I've also had retaliation runs where I've defended 4 territories, taken out 3 kill squads. You know, I've gotten 3 or 4 blueprints in one run, so there can definitely be some ups and downs in this thing, but when it comes to getting certain exotics, in my opinion, it is definitely worth the grind. And obviously, my friends, I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Alright, that's all I got for this video. I need to head out the door for work. Thank you once again for everything, and I will see you in the next one.